the storm with your heart. Play the storm with your heart.
What is good, YouTube? This is your boy Aaron.
It's Brian.
And this is the Courtside View podcast. And today we are talking about the NFL draft, reacting to day 1 and day 2. A lot of things transpired, a lot of obvious things that we already knew was going to happen. Number 1, Caleb Williams. He went to the Bears. Jayden Daniels went number 2, as reported. So that was pretty obvious. Drake Maye, New England Patriots. A lot of things that were predicted happened. Number 4, Cardinals. Number 5, that was the Chargers. This one, that pick was interesting because it was a lot of back and forth of will they go offensive lineman, will they go receiver? They went offensive lineman. I don't know what the Chargers are thinking. They out of their damn mind. But it is what it is. They went offensive lineman. What was it? J.C. Latham?
Joe
Alt, excuse me. J.C. Latham. Joe Alt. And, yeah, I mean, I think Joe Alt's going to be a really good player. But they need a receiver. They need a difference maker. Since you lost Keenan Allen, since you lost Mike Williams, wouldn't it behoove you to help Justin Herbert? Give him like a weapon that he can pretty much rely on for the next 10 plus years. And so for them to go offensive lineman instead of receiver for a guy that likes to throw the ball down the field, I mean,
they did get Lab McConkey in the second round.
He's good. I like Lab McConkey, but at the same time, it's like, bro, he ain't no Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors, he's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud for years to come, and for them to not go after Malik Neighbors to pair with.
I mean, I like what they've done so far. They got Junior Colson too.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I like Joe Alt, but damn, like Malik Neighbors is right there. He's a difference maker. I think he was probably projected higher as a prospect than Joe Alt. So I don't get it.
It's honestly, if you believe that the Chargers are in win now mode, it would make sense to go get a Malik Neighbors.
Yeah,
but I'm looking at that roster, and it's a new staff.
Yeah.
I think, and receivers come out every single year. I'm sure they'll be all right. And they got Lad McConkey, in my opinion, he could be a high second option at wide receiver because his routes are so clean. He has great after the ball yak ability. So I like that. And then when they got linebacker 1, if Peyton Wilson wasn't missing an ACL. I mean linebacker 2, if Peyton Wilson wasn't missing an MCL. I mean ACL. But they doing all right.
I mean, all right. I mean, it's not a bad pick. I just wish
I thought
Justin
they would
Herbert,
go Malik Neighbors.
I just wish Justin Herbert would get a wide receiver, a difference maker that he can go to, that he can rely on. You know what I mean? Like Lad McConkey, he's really solid, but like he's not. I don't look at him as a future star receiver. And for them to not go that direction, I just hate it for Justin Herbert. He deserved it, and they just said, nope, we're going to go offensive lineman. It's cool to invest in the trenches. It really is. The trenches are the most
he'll have
important.
plenty of time to throw to nobody.
Yeah, I mean, Rashawn Slater on one side, Joe Alt on the other side. I mean, that's pretty solid.
Johnson in the
That's pretty solid. It's just, no receiver. All right.
They're going to run that football, I'm telling you.
Yeah, they better run the football. So other things to the first round. Obviously Malik Neighbors went to the Giants. I mean, like I guess
he didn't look very ecstatic. I'll say that.
There's a reason why he turned off that Instagram live when Caleb Williams mentioned like who's that Giants quarterback? Yeah, there's a reason why he turned it off. But anywho, I think he'll be fine wherever he goes. He goes to the Giants. I think he'll make Daniel Jones better. He's tremendous. He's a tremendous route runner, a tremendous just physical talent in itself. Like they had OBJ and now they have this dude. Like, oh my God, like the Giants just keep getting all-time talented receivers. He's going to be a tremendous player for them. Michael Penix, this was a surprise. Like, I didn't see this coming.
I don't think anybody
I don't think the Falcons saw this coming. I think this one was a desperate move. I feel like at the last minute they were looking at it from a perspective that, hey, we want him, and we know other teams are going to want him as well. He's going to be gone no later than 15. Let's just pick him right now. He'll be our quarterback for the future. We'll sit him, and they believe that they want to sort of mimic the Green Bay model, which is the Aaron Rodgers, the Brett Favres, the Jordan Loves, and I mean, it sounds good.
Let's mimic the Green Bay method on the first year of the contract of the QB we just gave $180 million to.
Right. The timelines don't match up. It sounds good in theory, but the timeline of it all just doesn't match up because you just paid Kirk Cousins all that money. He's coming off of an injury, and you blindsided him with this. They didn't communicate to him that they were going to take a quarterback at 8. I will say, though, that the same thing transpired with Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers, he was there for years. Aaron Rodgers didn't have the best relationship with the organization.
And y'all picked him at 30.
Yeah, something around that range. It was definitely in the mid to late 20s for sure. And, I mean, Jordan Love, he's a lot younger, like 21. Michael Penix is
24.
about to be 24 in not too long from now. So that in itself is definitely concerning. I will say I do like Michael Penix as a prospect. I didn't think he was going to go this early. I think what was interesting is that, you hear all this noise about, Michael Penix is a late first round, early second. And I was just confused because I'm looking at J.J. McCarthy, and I look at the situation, I'm like, J.J. McCarthy isn't that much better than Michael Penix, and he's projected in the top 10, top 12. So that didn't make any sense to me. And Bo Nix as well, like in the middle first round, I'm just like, Bo Nix is not better than Michael Penix. So I understand the injury concerns. I understand the age, even though Bo Nix is like around the same age as Michael Penix. Jayden Daniels is around the same age as Michael Penix. I just didn't understand it, so I thought it was smokescreen. I knew it was going to be at least 5 QBs getting drafted in the first round. It was 6, so not shocking there. But I just think the Falcons, it was a shocker. That's all I have to say. It was a shocker. Is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to the situation? I mean, I heard Mina Kimes broke it down, trying to figure out if it makes sense or not. She couldn't believe it. She thought it just doesn't make sense at all.
It really doesn't. But and also things like Kirk Cousins, he's still rehabbing from that injury. How Michael Penix could throw the football. He could throw the football very well. So how are you gonna be like the team is gonna notice this dude over here, he's slinging the rock. He's way younger, 12 years younger, and not coming off an Achilles injury. But I'm supposed to go over here and play for Kirk over here, who I don't know. I think you just bring in unnecessary drama possibly with that.
It's a 2-year
unless
timeline.
I don't know.
It's a 2-year timeline. I'm looking at it. If I'm Kurt, I'm pissed because I moved my family to Atlanta. I expected, to be comfortable. I get a new contract. These are grown men trying to feed their family. They got a life of their own. And when you were promised that you're the starting guy, there's not going to be no competition. You don't have to worry about no competition or anything. And then all of a sudden you get blindsided with this pick. I mean, I could feel for Kirk Cousins. Although the game is the game, you and yourself, you did your due diligence to take advantage of the business. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business, and game is game, and they feel like they're making the best decision for themselves. So I kind of understand it, but at the same time, there's still some things involving this situation that has me reluctant to believe that they're doing the right thing for the franchise, because at the end of the day, you're trying to win football games. And not drafting a Dallas Turner, not drafting a player that high that can help you win right now. I don't know how the team feels about that, but it really looks very bad. It gives off that, hey, we really don't think we can compete for a championship right now. We feel like there's a certain ceiling, a certain floor that with Kirk Cousins, we don't think we can compete for a championship. So once Kirk Cousins is done here, which is probably 2 years, and we bring in Michael Penix to start, that's when we'll start competing for championships. I wonder how, like, if I'm Kirk Cousins, I feel a type of way because the lack of confidence that the organization has in me. Even though you pay me, it seems like, oh, I'm just a rental. I'm just a rental for the guy that you just drafted. So
It could be some interesting team dynamics because, for obvious reasons, I'm pretty sure Michael Penix would fit in better in that locker room than Kirk.
Oh yeah, for sure. But even though like Kirk he's
a
a
locker
solid
room guy.
dude.
Yeah, he's a
like
locker room
him with Minnesota, guys love Kurt in Minnesota. So he's a guy that I think Kurt he's
and
gonna.
oh my goodness, imagine if Kirk comes back, stinks it up, and the whole the daggone is it the Superdome?
Yes.
Yeah,
No, that's New Orleans.
That's New Orleans. The
Mercedes-Benz.
Benz. Yeah. And they said, we want Penix.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's going to be bad.
Big Penix energy.
Oh. Yeah, that's going to be bad.
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
oh, my goodness. Kirk Cousins,
I don't think he's going to play bad at all. Kirk Cousins is a solid QB. They have solid pieces around him where they'll be fine. They have that the guy from the Rams. So I like their coaching staff. I like their pieces that they added. It's just unfortunate for Kirk Cousins, who's gonna have to deal with that on a daily basis. But I think he's professional. I've seen him in Washington, that whole drama, that whole controversy. Oh, yeah. He still didn't say much. He just put his head down. He went to work and he just accepted the franchise tag and he just kept producing. And then eventually he just moved on, went to Minnesota, did the same thing, and it is what it is. Like, he's not a guy who creates more drama. Like, he's just gonna put his head down. He's gonna be professional. And I think in this situation, he'll do the same thing. He just knows that, hey, at the end of the day, it's a business, and that's that. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. And eventually, you're gonna be on the way out, and you're gonna have to go to another team, or if you want, you could retire. And that's just the way it is. And yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much it when it comes to that situation. How you feel about the Bears getting Rome Odunze? I really like that pick. I hate that they got Rome Odunze because that's the ops for me. But when I saw that they drafted Rome Odunze, that just let me know that the Bears are serious about trying to make this quarterback situation work, Caleb Williams work. So yeah, just what is your thoughts on that?
Good pick. It's a shame they couldn't provide their former QB such help, but it's a good pick, man. That receiver core is looking very nice. Mm-hmm. They got Rome, Keenan Allen. That's probably going to be in the slot primarily. And then they got DJ Moore. Man, it's a shame Fields couldn't get the same type of treatment, but whatever. You know, it's a new age. It's a new age for the Bears. Ryan Poles has done a good job building this roster and accumulating picks. Mm-hmm. The Panthers, man.
They screwed up. They really screwed up.
Oh, man. Should have traded Brian Burns for them first when you had the chance. But, hey. That's David Tepper for you.
It is what it is. I mean, I like the pick a lot. I thought that when you look at it from this perspective, like, number one, Keenan Allen's getting up there in age, so he's not going to be there for very much longer. Also, DJ Moore, you're gonna have to eventually pay him. So you may not be able to pay him. So to have Rome Odunze there, who's just as talented, many scouts had him as their number 2, maybe in their number 1 in some instances. So for him to be in the same category as a Marvin Harrison Jr. and a Malik Neighbors, and you're able to get him at 9, I mean, it's a home run pick. I'm sorry, I understand, you want to beef up the trenches and everything like that. But getting Rome Odunze, who's arguably a top 5 prospect in the draft, and to have him at this younger age pairing with Caleb Williams, they already have a really good relationship because they both played in the Pac-12. I think you had to do that, and that was smart for the Bears. And Caleb Williams is gonna have a hell of a rookie year. He's gonna have a hell of a rookie year with all
I
this
haven't
talent.
seen like a rookie with this much like talent in a minute.
Nah, me either. I mean, J.J. McCarthy has some good talent too.
Yeah.
Shoot, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and T.J. Hawkinson. I mean, and Aaron Jones. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And you have a good, I think, left tackle. Man, they got some dudes, bro. They got some really good dudes. So J.J. McCarthy, I don't expect him to start early, but damn, that's a pretty good core as well. And these guys coming in, the J.J. McCarthys and the Caleb Williams, like that is a really, really solid, really, really good receiving core. A lot of weapons, and yeah, man, I expect Caleb Williams to play well. J.J. McCarthy, I expect him to at least be okay, be competent, especially with the coach, with Kevin O'Connell as your head coach. I mean, I expect a lot of big things for J.J. McCarthy. I don't think he's going to be one of the top 10 QBs, but I do expect him, if he does start this year, I think he'll play okay ball. Like, it'll be serviceable. It will be good enough where he will show some flashes of, all right, he could play in this league. It's a really good situation for him.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? So many QBs went this. Like, honestly, let's say hypothetically, if Shador came out, Carson Beck came out, I think all 3 of them would have went in the first round this year. Because
you really think that?
so many, like Bo Nix in the middle of the, like, are you kidding me? I know the Broncos kind of had their hands tied because who they gonna try it out there?
Yeah.
To play QB, but man,
Carson
Bo Nix,
Beck.
I had like a late second, maybe like third round grade on Bo Nix. I wasn't big on Bo Nix at all, but man, it's just like the QB and tackle position value in the draft is just way up there.
To the moon.
And it seems like corners value failed this year.
Yeah. Quinyon Mitchell went to the Eagles. I was very mad. That was a great pick by the Eagles. They needed a corner. They got the number 1 corner in the draft. He's tremendous. He's very polished. I was very furious. I was like, damn, I wanted him so badly. And then Nate Wiggins went to the Baltimore Ravens, and also Terrion Arnold. I wanted
to the Lions, yeah.
I wanted him so badly, and the Lions traded up 1 pick, literally, before the Packers, and they drafted him. And yeah, man, I mean, that's a good pick for the Lions. They needed another corner, so I hate it had to be Lions. But it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna dive into it too much. But let's see other picks. Jared Verse went to the Rams. Dallas Turner went to the Vikings. I like that one.
Yeah, the Neil Hunter replacement.
Your guy out of UCLA.
Leatu.
Yeah, he went to the Colts. Big concerns over his, I think it's his neck.
Yeah.
But his production.
He's played the past 2 years, I believe. So.
Yeah. And then I was talking to somebody. I think one of the things about him is he a finished product?
He's very good. Like, already, he's going to come in and start. He has so many moves, so many things to utilize at that pass rush position. He can get better as far as like putting on more weight and stuff. Like, he's a little skinny for edge full time, so put on some weight. But his technique, he got the technique, man. He's a black belt pass rusher. He got all the moves you can ask for. He gonna give it to you, and he's quick too. Crazy burst.
I remember when Caleb and Rome were were dapping him up. I'm like, who is that? Like, who is that they keep dapping up? And it's like, oh, it's him. Like, Pac-12 connection.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so they probably, they know each other. They're cool and everything. It's like, okay, that makes sense. Jayden Daniels to the Commanders. We got to get to this.
This has been the call for months. Like I've talked to people, and they said he think Jayden Daniels was going to be the pick at number 2. Turned out that's to be the case. I don't know why Commanders thought anything else. Granted, there was like a little scare last week about the agent and all that stuff, but the Commanders said, we do not care.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then the odds was at negative 6,000 at one point. So, man, that's crazy. The whole debacle there. And then they said they had J.J. McCarthy second on their QB board. Yeah. Not even Drake Maye. So, hey, man, we gonna have to see, man. Yeah, I like Jayden Daniels.
I like him too.
I see some fans though, even LSU fans were saying Jayden Daniels is not a top. They say he's like a borderline top 10 QB as far as picks go. I'm like, dang.
Well, a lot of the analysts, a lot of the former NFL QBs, they feel different about it. They say he had the best tape of all the QBs in 2023.
He
so
didn't.
You say he didn't?
No, Caleb had the best tape.
Well, according to the QB, according to Kurt Warner, according to Ben Kurt, and other guys, QB school, you name it, they said he had the best tape in 2023. So,
okay.
I mean, hey, if
he did win the Heisman, so
if the pick is wrong, I mean, we might have to change the way that you think when it comes to this. This is going to tell a lot about how you evaluate a QB. If the Commanders aren't able to get this pick right, if Jayden Daniels doesn't become the star quarterback that a lot of people believe he will be one day, then the whole QB evaluation process needs to get thrown out of the window. Because there was a lot of even NFL scouts that believe they would have Jayden Daniels as their number 1 QB over even Caleb Williams. So if this pick doesn't pan out for the Commanders, then there's going to have to be some reshuffling. There's going to have to be they're going to have to change the way that they look at QBs, because this whole process, this whole debate about Jayden Daniels versus a Caleb or a Drake Maye or whoever you want to put in front of has been insane. And if he doesn't pan out, we have to reevaluate the way that we look at these QBs if he doesn't pan out, because all I've heard is nothing but positive reviews from Jayden Daniels. There may be a couple of, people that are not as high on him that may bring up some of his deficiencies, but I've mostly heard nothing but positive reviews from Jayden Daniels. And if he doesn't pan out, there has to be something needs to change.
Yeah.
Because then that just lets me know that the QB evaluation that a lot of these analysts and scouts are looking at when evaluating a QB, it's just not all the way there. Now, they'll probably be like, oh, well, he was in a bad situation. But you put him over Caleb Williams. So what is it?
Adam Peters was thinking, yeah, they got Dak Prescott, but we got Jayden Daniels.
But yeah, man, I can't wait to see how he develops, because one thing about the DMV, one thing about the Commanders, back to the Redskin days, quarterback play has been so bad that folks are still giving RG3 his flowers for that rookie season. It has been so bad that people they look at that RG3 rookie season as the glory days. RG3 can come back and people will, they'll give him love. You know what I'm saying? They'll show love and all this other stuff because he gave them that one moment that we just haven't gotten ever since, which was hope, which was this feeling that the franchise has changed and we're gonna finally be in the hunt for a Super Bowl. Like he teased us into believing that, and people still praise him to this day when it was just 1 year.
Yeah.
So like Jayden Daniels, when it comes to the DMV, the bar is not as high as you would think. If you can give him quality quarterback play, people will love you. Like if you can give him that one season, like a Jalen Hurts type season, when they went to the Super Bowl, when he was in top 2 MVP, if you could give him that one season, the city will love you forever.
Yeah.
Because it's the hope. It's the fan base coming together where they build up these memories that they remember for a very long time, and they'll just show you love for the years to come. Like it's not going to be like Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins, we were not hopeful. Despite going to the playoffs, we knew that there was no chance we were going to go to the Super Bowl. So like with RG3, it was just a different story because he was the number 2 pick. He was the rookie of the year. He was making magic that year. It was just a lot of magic. If Jayden Daniels can replicate that, oh my God. He's not going to pay a bill anywhere in DC, anywhere in DMV. They're going to love him forever. And I really hope he does that.
He's got his work cut out for him, though, because he's coming into a very tough NFC East.
Good thing is that they have new ownership, new head coaching, new GM. It's a lot of newness. They're rebuilding, but it's a lot of new stuff going on. CJ Stroud, he loves Jayden Daniels. He loves his situation. It seems like he said he's going into the same situation I went into. I just think his head coach is a little bit better than Dan Quinn's, and I think the offensive coordinator is a little bit better than Cliff Kingsbury.
A little bit.
But I will say CJ Stroud had talked glowingly about the situation in Washington and Jayden Daniels' projection and stuff. So that's a good sign, and we'll just have to see. Drake Maye went to New England.
Godspeed. That's all I could say.
I will say, I mean, New England, they're used to winning. They know how to win. They brought in a new head coach. It seems like they're trying to get back on track. They're trying to create an environment that's conducive to a quarterback. They drafted Jalen Polk, I think his name, from Washington. So I like him. He's a really solid receiver, and he's not the most talented, but he knows how to get open. He knows how to get to his spots. So I like that pick in the second round for them. They gave him a receiver, but they don't have the best receiving core right now. They don't have a whole lot of talent, but hopefully they don't start him right away. They let him sit and have Jacoby Brissett start some games. I do think over time they'll eventually start him. It's just I don't want him to start right away, is what I'm saying.
He doesn't need to, honestly.
No. So I look forward to seeing what Drake Maye does. I hope all these QBs thrive, man. I don't want to see no QB not thrive. Let's see what else we got on it. Let's see what else. Bo Nix. Honestly, like if I look at a lot of where these QBs got drafted, it's not really compared to 2-3 years ago in 2021. I feel like these quarterbacks are in a pretty okay situation. I'm looking at Caleb. He's in a pretty solid situation. I'm looking at Jayden Daniels is the best, but he has a receiving core, new coaching staff, new GM, new ownership. So you look forward to the future. New England, they brought in a new coaching staff. They're used to winning. They seem like they're going to try to not rush things with Drake Maye. Atlanta Falcons, they're going to sit Michael Penix. J.J. McCarthy, he goes into a great situation with the Vikings. They have good receivers. They have a good coach. Bo Nix, obviously quarterback whisperer himself, Sean Payton. A lot of these QBs are going into situations that are pretty good situations if you're trying to develop a quarterback. Compared to 2021, every QB that got drafted in the first round went to pretty horrible situations.
You got a point there.
Justin Fields, horrible situation. Trevor Lawrence, horrible situation. Zach Wilson, horrible situation. The only QB that went to a great situation was Trey Lance. That was the only QB that had no excuse.
Mac Jones.
Okay. Well, he
made the playoffs that year.
Initially, he was in a good situation, but then obviously the Patriots they lost Josh McDaniels and they just lost their ways. So they're trying again with the Drake Maye pick. They're probably going to try to do right this time. Mac Jones he went to a good situation initially, but then they just for whatever reason they just thought we're just going to make it very difficult for him. But yeah, man, I just really like the situations for the first round QBs. I think they all went to a pretty much doable situation. I think it's going to come down to them. Obviously, the coaching staff's going to have to do the job, but they're going to have to really, they're going to have to do their part in it at the end of the day, because I think these situations are good enough for them to thrive in. Unless Sean Payton just does something crazy, goes on a temper tantrum or something like that. I just don't think it's not a toxic environment per se like the previous years where I've seen QBs get drafted. So this is a good year for organizations to draft a QB, and I expect big things from some of these QBs. Let's go down a list and then we'll go down some more teams. Jaguars getting Brian Thomas Jr. How you feel about that?
I like the pick, honestly. I mean, I think most people had them taking either wide receiver or line.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., Calvin Ridley replacement. Trevor Lawrence needs the help, needs a true outside guy because Christian Kirk is more slot. So yeah, I don't mind the pick. He'll blend in nicely with Kirk and Ingram and stuff. So yeah, I like the pick. I like Brian Thomas.
I think the thing I heard one of the analysts on ESPN talk about Brian Thomas Jr. Does he have the alpha? Does he have the want to I'm number one. I want to be number one. Give me the damn ball. Get out the way. Does he have that mentality? Because he was playing with Malik Neighbors. He was that dude. He was that dog. He was the guy that I want the ball in my hands. Does Brian Thomas have that mentality? It's going to be the question mark when he goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I was a bit concerned that they weren't going to draft their receiver. I thought they were going to go corner. I was like, they better not go corner. They better go receiver. They better do right for Trevor Lawrence because they didn't resign Calvin Ridley. Christian Kirk got injured. You need a receiver. Don't screw over Trevor Lawrence. And they did right for Trevor Lawrence,
especially if they're trying to extend him.
Exactly. So I thought that was a home run pick for them. Kansas City going Xavier Worthy. They traded with the Bills to move up. I love the pick. I think he fits perfectly with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think
speed.
I think he doesn't.
We got Tyreek Hill at home.
Exactly. I think he doesn't get as much love for his route running. I think he's a better route runner than what people want to give him credit for. He will fit nicely with the Chiefs. They need an outside guy. They need a speedster. And they didn't really have that. They haven't had that for the past few years since they traded Tyreek Hill. So for them to get that, we don't know what's going to happen to Rashee Rice. But if Rashee Rice comes back, man, that's going to be a hell of a tandem. That's going to be a really hell of a tandem for Patrick Mahomes. The thing with the Chiefs is that as great as the Chiefs are, they whiff on a lot of receivers.
Yeah, Sky Moore.
I mean, McCole Hardman, they've whiffed on some receivers now. But I do think Xavier Worthy coming out, he's better than a Sky Moore. He's better than a McCole Hardman. So I expect big things for Xavier Worthy. Maybe not initially, but over time, I think he'll get it together. I think he'll be a really good contributor to the Chiefs, and that's how I'm looking at it. I mean, unless.
And just the threat alone of him having that type of speed on the field, like, you're just giving Pat Mahomes way too many options.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is that his tape matches the 40 time because he's very fast. Like, if you look at the highlights, you look at the tape, he's very fast. Even with pads on, he's very fast. And that's the thing. Like, does the tape match the 40 time? And I believe it does with Xavier Worthy. So, man, the Chiefs got another piece that they could use.
And he ain't no small fry either. He's 6'1", moving like that.
Yeah, he's not like 5'9".
He's a little light, but
yeah. Definitely, he's definitely very thin, but I like the pick a lot. He's gonna be really good for them.
But why would okay? So here's my thing with the Bills, though. Yeah. I know they traded back so they could get Keon Coleman. I like it at that spot. So they probably didn't feel comfortable taking him at. What was they, 20?
I think it was 20 because the Chiefs was 28. So
yeah, so they was at 28.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
wait, because I think they made the Chiefs was like 32.
Yeah, they 32,
traded,
but they
because
traded.
Remember Carolina, they went up.
Oh yeah.
So they traded with the Chiefs and they traded with Carolina.
So yeah, I mean, if the Bills probably didn't feel comfortable drafting Coleman at that spot, so they went and stocked up on some capital. I like it. But with the Chiefs, though, that's like the last team I'm trading with.
They're the ops.
Especially if I'm pretty sure they was like, we want to trade up for a wide receiver or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the last team I'm trading up with. But I'm sorry.
My thing is that I'm wondering, okay, looking at it.
Look, the draft order.
Because the 49ers, they drafted a receiver. Obviously, Carolina, they drafted a receiver. So I'm trying to figure out, like, if the Bills stay at 28, do they draft Keon Coleman? My thing, it seems like they probably do. And I'm looking at the 49ers. Do they stick with Ricky Pearsall? Or do they go Xavier Worthy? Because I'm thinking like Xavier, because Ricky Pearsall, because they don't throw the ball like down the field, like it's more intermediate. So do they go with Xavier Worthy, or do they just stand pat with the pick they already have? And does Carolina decide to go with Xavier Legette? So
I think they was going to draft him regardless.
I feel like I love Keon Coleman, but I like Xavier Legette more. I think he's a little bit better.
I think with Keon Coleman, I don't think he was utilized right in FSU.
He wasn't.
I think he has a higher ceiling than
Legette.
Yeah.
Why you say that? Because
after the catch, and I think he could be more of a one. Like, to me, Xavier Legette, I don't know who said this, but it makes so much sense. They said Legette is more like a coming out like a DK.
I heard that
and
too.
But you need to pair him with a guy like how Tyler Lockett had DK. You know, AJ Brown has Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
And now Legette has a Deontay Johnson. Like, it needs to be like a yin and yang type thing with Legette versus Keon Coleman. You give him a slant. That's really all you need.
You don't really need to scheme much for him.
Yeah.
Much. Where he goes.
He's not going to create much separation, but he'll catch. And his contested catch rate is a little underwhelming for a guy of his size.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when you get the ball in his hand, he gonna make something happen. Anybody who's that big and was running punt return, you know he get crazy in that open field.
I do like him paired with Josh Allen.
Yes.
Because Josh Allen takes a lot of chances.
Exactly.
I think that's actually
Scramble
a great
drill.
pairing. Him with Josh Allen is the perfect fit because Josh Allen's he be playing that backyard football sometimes. So he's gonna give Keon Coleman a lot of chances, a lot of 50-50 balls, and I just love the pairing. I wish they would have drafted another receiver because I feel like they still need one more guy, but I love the pick. It's just, man, I just like Xavier Legette more, man. But it is what it is, man. They lost Stephon Diggs. They're trying to and they lost Gabe Davis. They're trying to replace those two dudes. They brought in Curtis Samuel, which, it and Keon Coleman. We'll have to see. I mean, they have Dalton Kincaid, who I really love. James Cook, I really like. So we'll have to see, man. Carolina getting Xavier Legette, I'm not shocked about that because I expected them to go Xavier Legette. I was like, well, Carolina, they have a early second round pick, so I expect them, because Xavier Legette was like projected maybe early second. I was like, they better go like best wide receiver available, and it's gonna be Xavier Legette, and they got him. I love that he's gonna be with Bryce Young now, paired with Deontay Johnson, paired with Adam Thielen. So, hey man, they starting to build something in Carolina with that receiving.
If I was what's his name? They drafted last year.
You talking about Jonathan Mingo?
Yeah, if I was Jonathan Mingo, I'd be like, dang.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. See, he's so irrelevant. I didn't even mention his name, bro. Like, that's how bad he was last year. Yeah. I didn't even mention his name. But yeah, man, I mean, they started to try to build something. Hopefully Dave Canales can bring his scheme from Tampa and it will work. So they're starting to do something for Bryce Young, and this was the draft where if you didn't have a first round pick, you can still get quality value. Although, yes, they did move up and select him in 32nd. But, again, if you didn't have a first-round pick, you can still find ways to get talent for Bryce Young if they were able to do it. All right. I mean, what else could we go? I mean, listen, the Cowboys, they selected Tyler Guyton. I told you they were going to select Tyler Guyton.
Yeah, you did. Everybody did.
I knew Green Bay wasn't going to select no damn Tyler Guyton. He's too much of a project. Yeah, man.
What if it's one team? If there's one team I trust to develop linemen, it's the Cowboys. Yeah, they've done it year after year in the first round. Every first round draft lineman they draft turns out to be a guy. So, and it just so happens that this lineman's last name is Guyton. So, hey. And I love the trade back. When I saw we traded back, I said, you know what? I love it. Shout out to the Lions. We finessed y'all for that early third. End up getting the second best guard in the draft. Mm-hmm. Jugged them real bad. But, yeah, I didn't like the Tyler Guyton pick night one. But after the third round when we got Cooper, I was, you know what? I'll live with that over just Graham Barton. Mm-hmm. And I think Tyler Guyton, he's in the perfect position to get better at the things that I would like to see from him get better at tackle. He has great feet. He moves. He's one of the best moving linemen.
Very athletic.
Yeah, like his feet are not a question at all. He has NFL level feet for a left tackle. My problem with him is his hands and sometimes he lunges a bit when you like really need to be like upright and stay. And sometimes he doesn't bend his knees enough. Like sometimes he gets low, and then sometimes he's up. I'm like, we need to see more consistency with that. But I think these are coachable things.
Exactly, that's what it is.
Especially, I'm telling you, he will be with Duke Manyweather, who was the O-line guy in like Dallas. Like all of our linemen pretty much work with him. He's like a trainer. And actually, a lot of linemen around the league work with Duke Manyweather. He's very stamped in that department. He's going to be there. He better be there now. As we record now, he better be with him right now, working on that technique. So, yeah, man, I got – and, yeah, he's fast too. Zone runs is going to be fun. Hopefully we get a lot of zone runs. We don't got a running back to really do that kind of stuff right now. But,
you don't.
Hey, man, I like that we building up the trenches. I like what the Cowboys is doing. So, hey, man, we're going to have to see. I got he has big shoes to fill. It's a shame we don't have Tyron Smith with us to really give him that nuance in the passing game at the left tackle. But hey, he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Okay. Just thinking about, you brought up Tyron Smith. I want to talk a little bit about the Jets. I mean, they have really done a good service for Aaron Rodgers. Like, if you're somebody like me who's an Aaron Rodgers fan,
did they draft Latham?
They drafted the guy out of Penn State who's actually from
Olu.
Yeah,
Olu.
He's actually from. Did you see the video?
Yeah. With
the mom.
She was boxing out with
the girlfriend.
That was funny.
I don't know what it is.
Someone said blocking runs in the family.
I don't know what it is about family like black families and the football player who's black has a white girlfriend. I don't know what's going on, but like, the families they trying to make sure that she not in the picture, that she not being the highlight of the show. So I just don't understand why these athletes put their white girlfriends in that predicament to embarrass
Some of them
them.
draft rooms look segregated.
Like just maybe have that conversation where it's like, hey, maybe you gotta be in the background. Like, I don't want to embarrass you per se. I don't want it to be on Twitter where it's like where it's like a conversation, but I guess they don't care. Me personally, I would be more so, hey, you could be on the side, but not on the couch. Like, I don't want it to be a distraction. And hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
They did go Olu. Good player.
Yeah, he's definitely a really good player. They also drafted, I think they may have drafted a receiver as well. Who did they draft? Where's that? It was in the second. It may have been in the second round, or the third round. It was the third round. What am I talking about? Who was it? Malachi? Was it Malachi Corley?
Oh, he's nice. Corley is nice.
Yeah, it was Malachi Corley.
Oh my goodness,
they had the first pick
nice.
in the third round, so that was an amazing pick. So they're really trying to do right for Aaron Rodgers. They're going all in.
Yeah.
Because last year they didn't have a number 2 outside of Garrett Wilson. It was pretty much a crapshoot. So to get Malachi Corley, number 1 pick in the third round, and then you pair him with the offensive lineman out of Penn State, man. Then you already have your guy, and they have some other pieces as well on the offensive line. Dog, the Jets are looking really solid, and they brought in some pieces in free agency. They're looking like Tampa for Tom Brady's first year. They're loading up, bringing in all this talent to make a playoff run. Now, we'll see if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy. We'll see if the coaching is up to par, and we'll see if can Aaron Rodgers move the needle when it matters most. Because with Green Bay, them 3 years before he left, we lost to the Niners. We lost to Tom Brady. So, can Aaron Rodgers at this stage of his career get the team over the hump and make it to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl? I don't think so, but they have a lot of pieces. They're one of the more talented teams in the NFL, and there should be no excuse. They have an offensive line. They have a running game. They have a receiving core. They have a defense. They have a quarterback coming back, Aaron Rodgers. So
they're just coaching now.
Yeah. It's no excuse. No excuse. Let's see. What other teams should we focus on? I mean, Cooper DeJean went to the Eagles. That's another thing. Like, the Eagles got back-to-back. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell. Like, that's insane. Jared Verse went to the Rams. They also brought in Blake Corum as well. So, I like that. Blake Corum.
It's funny, though, because, like, him and Kyron Williams are similar. Kyron Williams is faster than Blake Corum.
Yeah, he's definitely.
But they run, like, kind of similar.
I like
so
that
that's
tandem.
Interesting.
I like that tandem. That's going to be a really good tandem. They're trying to not put too much on Matthew Stafford, it seems like. I really like that tandem. That's going to be a really, really tough out for whatever team that's trying to defend that run game. Let's see, who else? The Vikings, they had a really good draft. We mentioned this off the, behind the scenes, but we talked about the Bengals and Amarius Mims not being too fond of that pick and just hearing some things. I think Nick Saban criticized the pick because of Amarius Mims. He's still not all the way there yet. You're trying to win now, but you're bringing in a guy that's barely started any games.
What pick did the Bengals have?
They
19?
had like 19.
They picked Mims over Troy Fats?
Yeah.
What?
Actually, they had 18. They picked him over Jared Verse. They picked him over
Troy
Quinyon
Fatani?
Mitchell, Brian
What?
Thomas Jr. They picked him over a lot of guys. So, yeah, man. Yeah.
I think Mims is a right tackle. So I think Troy is a left tackle. So
yeah, they were very critical about that. I mean, they picked the D tackle. We already mentioned this. Picked the D tackle at in the second round.
2 D tackles that day 2. Interesting.
Yeah. So Yeah, man. That's just what it is. I don't know what else. Kool-Aid McKinstry went to the Saints. That's okay. Let's talk about the Commanders. I mean, we already talked about Jayden Daniels, but they got that Newton guy out of Illinois, defensive tackle.
Newton, he's nice.
Yeah, he's. I've heard he's.
A lot of the fans weren't happy with that pick at first. I think it's just because they're casuals.
Mm-hmm.
But Jazon Newton, he's nice.
They drafted a guard out of TCU, Brandon Coleman, in the 3rd round.
He's nice. He's solid.
Yeah, and then who else?
Drafted that tight end from Kansas State, I believe.
They also drafted. Remember, the 3rd round they drafted Luke McCaffrey, wide receiver.
That was a reach. I ain't going. Nepotism. Because it was a few dudes on that board better than him, but hey.
But yeah, anywho, back to what I want to say about my Packers. Obviously, we already mentioned. I don't think I mentioned it, but Jordan Morgan. He was, according to PFF, the number 8 best offensive tackle. I've heard some really good things about him. I can't go to too much detail because I haven't watched any film of him. So
I see some Jordan Morgan film. He's like. He's good. I had him ranked above Tyler Guyton.
Yeah, he was ranked. He was literally ranked like right above.
Yeah,
Tyler
I had
Guyton.
him like right above Tyler Guyton. So
I trust the coaching staff for the Packers when developing offensive linemen. So I'm not too mad of it. He was like the 37th best prospect according to PFF. Javon Bullard, he was like a top 2 safety.
He was like safety 2 on most boards.
Yeah, we drafted in the 2nd round, and then we got the linebacker. He was a top 2 as well. So
Edgerrin Cooper, man, y'all had a
good draft. That was a really good. Those were really good 2 rounds. 3rd round we drafted. Who we draft?
Wasn't the 3rd round Cooper?
We got Tyron Hooper, linebacker. Marshawn Lloyd.
That is a good pick.
Yeah, I like him.
Nice.
He's gonna be a change of pace because we have Josh Jacobs, AJ Dillon. He's gonna be a change of pace because he's a speedster.
Yeah,
he is explosive. I like it. AJ Dillon, say goodbye because you're not getting on the field over Marshawn Lloyd. I'm sorry. We already have Josh Jacobs who could do some of the things you can already do, who's way better, and then you have Marshawn Lloyd. That's gonna be a good 1-2 tandem. I like that pick. At first, I was like, but then as I sort of dive deeper into it, I was like, okay, I like it. So I could change his pace. Man, there's so many things we could really talk about. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but just breaking it down. What teams did you like? Like, what?
I think a lot of teams had good drafts. I think, especially out the NFC East, the Eagles had a good draft. The Commanders good draft. Cowboys had a good draft. The Packers had a good draft. Bears killed it.
Oh, they killed it.
Vikings good draft.
Yeah.
Jets.
Yeah, Jets definitely.
Rams. I like what the Rams did.
Yeah.
I forgot who the Chiefs drafted outside of that.
So they drafted. We already know they drafted Worthy.
I forgot who they drafted in the 2nd round.
Let me see. Who the Chiefs drafted in the 2nd round? Let's see. Kinsley, that offensive tackle from BYU.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad actually. But yeah,
that was the remember Jamal Charles.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah. By the way, Jamal Charles, I'll say this. I feel bad for him. I don't know if it's true. If he has a,
he does. He's an ambassador for the Special Olympics, or something like that.
Why in the hell would you volunteer to read?
I saw him deliver a speech. He didn't do bad during the speech. This one was, I guess, because it was like short notice. I guess I don't know.
They ain't tell him how to pronounce it. They just said, "Hey, here's the card. Read it."
I don't know.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
that
they
is
kind of
crazy.
set him up.
They set him up for that one. That is wild, bro. That is wild. I wouldn't have accepted it. Like, bro.
They drafted Sua Matua. Is that how you say his name?
Something like I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
The guy from
he's
BYU.
solid. He's solid.
Yeah, but it's like, bro, like y'all set him up. Like, why would you do that?
I can't really think of teams that have like a bad draft so far. Or maybe I just haven't been paying attention enough. Well, a lot of teams they've been like, I like what the Steelers did. They drafted Peyton Wilson, even though he's missing an ACL and something with his shoulder surgery went wrong or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the dude can play.
Yeah.
That man ran 23 miles an hour with no ACL. Are you kidding me?
The Colts.
Oh my God, I hate the Colts because they took who I wanted.
A.D. Mitchell.
Colts, they get Latu, and then A.D. Mitchell. They said we don't care about them injuries, the medicals, or the character, because we gonna get a dude. We gonna get some dudes on the team.
They have a pretty solid receiving core now.
Yeah.
So they're gonna
Pittman.
Anthony Richardson comes back healthy. He's gonna have a lot of guys to throw to.
You'll have some dudes.
No excuse. And you have a really good head coach that can he can dial up some plays for you. So the Colts are in a really, really good position. Like, if you're a Colts fan, you should be excited.
Chargers had a good draft too. I like the Joe Alt pick. Joe Alt is really nice.
He is.
He's nice.
He's really is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure about the Giants. I know they took obviously Malik Neighbors. I don't know what they did after that though.
The guy from the cornerback from Kentucky, Andrew Phillips. Who else?
I'm not too familiar.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him either.
I'm not familiar with them names.
Tyler Nubin, safety, Minnesota.
He's good. Tyler Nubin's good.
Yeah, I think he may have been, according to PFF, I think he was the best safety. Yeah, he was the best safety. So.
Yeah, Nubin's nice.
Max Melton, he wanted to go to the Packers so badly, but he went to the Cardinals. He had like
Cardinals having a good draft too.
Bro, there was like a picture where he had like 5 different Packer hats. So that just lets me know he was a Packers fan before he even entered the draft. So I feel, man, I would have loved to have you on the Packers too. We needed the corner, but it is what it is. I'll take Edgerrin Cooper. So yeah, man, that's really all I have to say on that matter. I don't think I can think of anything else. I mean, Bernardo Green, I heard some good things about him. The San Francisco 49ers got the most underrated player in the draft.
49. I can't stand the 49ers.
But yeah, man, I can't really think of anything else. I mean, Trey Brunson went to the Cardinals. That's a good picker for them. But yeah.
Oh my God, I was so mad they took Trey Benson. Man.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see how things shape from here on out. I don't really have much else stuff. Is there anything else you want to say when it comes to the draft? I mean, day
Not
one.
really.
Day 2?
They last day of the draft. This is where a good chunk of value is.
Yeah, man.
The Panthers picked Jatavian Sanders. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Troy Franklin off the board. The Broncos traded up.
I just heard about that. Yeah, the Broncos they just drafted Troy Franklin
from Washington. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. Let me see what happened.
Oh no, the Pats took Javon Baker.
Good pick for the Pats.
Dang, that right before the Packers too. Though y'all got solid weapons on offense.
Good pick for the Pats.
Yeah, need something for Drake Maye.
Just let me be.